broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, gosh.
Think of how much power we could all have in our hands if we were, like, part of the Mega Coven.
Mega Coven!
I would join it.
In a heartbeat.
I would, too.
But part of me would join it because I'd be a little scared of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't want her to turn me into something.
I would just like to just
Like
say
what?
I'm part of a Mega Coven. I don't know.
The Mega Coven is so much better and greater than the Grand Coven.
Yes.
And if we are talking about the Mega Coven, that means that we're also talking about Supernatural. Season 11, Episode 3, The Bad Seed. I'm Lyndsey Wegner here at AfterBuzz TV. You can tweet me at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LyndseyWegner. And I'm joined by Katie Campbell.
Hello, hello. You can find me on Twitter at Katie E.E. Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell.
And Alexis Torres.
Hey, everybody. You can find me all over social media at atorres890.
And we are talking about Supernatural. First impressions. We finally get Rowena back. I was excited to see her. What did you guys think about this episode this week?
I'm loving what they're doing with her. I want to see, I know we've all wanted to see more witch interactions, and I feel like we're going that way slowly. She's not having the reaction that she wanted from people, but I like that we're exploring that, and I also like the storyline of the darkness. I'm really intrigued by it, so it's exciting, you know, watching this show, because I love what they're doing this season.
I'm just getting more interested because I want to learn more about Amara's just growth and what she wants and how she views the world. Like, how is that going to play in her big scheme of either she's going to get rid of the world or she's going to keep it? I don't know. So I'm excited.
I agree, Alexis. I think her viewpoint on the world as it is now and seeing all this sadness and suffering and how she doesn't necessarily want evil, but there's something deeper and darker, and obviously she blames God. So I can't wait to get deep into this. And I've been seeing a lot on YouTube that you guys have been saying you want to see a God sighting. So I have a feeling, do you guys feel like that's going to happen this season?
Yeah, I agree.
I think maybe at the end.
Very end. Yeah.
I think we'll see God before the season's up, and I'm hoping we'll see him actually before we even hit mid-season break.
I'm really excited because I want to tell you guys about my predictions about Amara, because I have a lot going on in my
good.
brain,
Okay,
so.
well, we'll jump into the episode so that we can get to predictions this week and fully get into them. And make sure that you guys are tweeting us using the hashtag ABTVSupernatural, finding us on all things social media, AfterBuzz TV, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, all things social media. Use the hashtag ABTVSupernatural. All right, so we know that Rowena has the Book of the Damned, the Codex. She has a spell on Cass, and he keeps getting deeper and deeper into this spell. And Crowley is starting to feel Amara's power. So our first part of the episode is Rowena talking to 3 witches about joining this mega coven, to which they scoff at, and they know that she's the reason for Olivet disappearing. So now my question to you is, if your main witch is gone and you know it's because of Rowena, or you think it's because of Rowena, are you going to cross her?
No. That's my point. I think I would be joining it because it's a little intriguing and she's got a lot of power, but also because I'm scared. She scares me. She's very strong with this book. And if she killed Olivet, I mean, how big is the Grand Coven?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I have no idea.
They haven't really talked about how many witches are a part of this. We know it's been going on for years, and
right.
I don't know how many people there are in it.
Sorry, they're all talking. They're talking about Chuck, and Chuck we trust. Think Chuck, it's Friday. Sorry, that's what's happening in the chat. Also, thanks guys for hanging out in there. But no, I agree with you, Katie. I feel like I don't know how large the Grand Coven is, but I feel like if someone has already taken out your main witch, I feel like it should be like, okay, let's not mess with her. Let's join forces so we won't be against each other.
Well, they revealed some very interesting information to Rowena, saying that Crowley was not dead. And she did not know this. She thought that this happened, and the witches denied it, saying that he was alive. And then, with a little spell, she burns them all up, and then they explode.
Oh, that was hard to watch.
And she asks, "He lives?" Ooh, so excited. I'm so excited for their first meetup again. I'm rewatching the show, and I'm in season 6 right now. And I just met Fergus's son again, which we saw in, was it season 9 or season 10 did we see?
9, I believe.
It was 9. We saw him again. So it was just kind of a nice little, like, Fergus McLeod, got his full name and everything. So it was interesting. But, all right. So we get to Dean. He's seeing, once again, the vision of the darkness. And the darkness is this infinite power. God has defeated it before. And Rowena can be the only one to cast a spell. Katie, what were you going to say?
Once again, though, Dean's not telling everything to Sam.
And I love how he talked about secrets in the car, which is we'll get to later on. And I was just like, hey, yeah, okay, yeah. And, just saying.
Keeping secrets. Secrets are no fun.
Yeah.
Secrets hurt someone.
They do.
Yeah. Look at you. I was like,
oh, thank you.
So Crowley's telling one of his minions to annihilate Rowena because she has been found. And Amara is making progress in her studies.
Lord have mercy. What was she listening? She was listening to Hitler speeches. And I was like, oh.
Hitler's Nuremberg speeches.
That
were translated.
I was like, yikes.
And she wants to be saved from God because he tricked her. And Crowley's going to be the one to protect her, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
He is so scared. He's holding his composure, but you could tell.
Oh, yeah, you could see it in his face. That's why he keeps going, Because he's just thinking.
There's no way he can protect her.
He's trying to keep her and speaking to nobody outside of this entire, what is it, the court?
Yeah.
Court, yeah.
Couldn't read my writing. The court. She can't be stopped from speaking to whoever she wants to be speaking to.
That's why I know we're not at that part yet, but when he was trying to, dial back her feeding, I was like, well, that's not going to work out very well.
Idea.
Yeah.
She's so much more
scary.
powerful than he is, and I think he's just trying to maintain some semblance of a relationship so that she just doesn't annihilate him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think even as the king of hell, I think he's scared of her.
And just way over his head on this situation. I feel like he's just trying to stay above water, but I feel like it's not going to work out for him.
I think he's going to need Sam and Dean's help.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I'm like, are we going to get a Crowley and the boys team up?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. It's the best when that happens.
Oh, man.
So Rowena's at brunch with some other new witches, asking them to leave the Grand Coven, and they're a little leery, but these witches are a little also a bit more open to it. They were younger, hipper witches. Also, apparently weren't officers, and so the one asked if she could actually be an officer in her mega coven.
Oh, that didn't last very long.
And she was so excited, and then obviously the minion that Crowley sent out came and...
Why didn't her spell work? Was it because there wasn't enough time?
Whose spell?
Because the girl, the witch that died, she looked like she was trying to do something, and she got her throat slit immediately
Before she could complete it.
Okay,
He killed her.
I was just like, whoa, what's happening?
I have to say about her asking to be an officer, I would have done that too.
Yeah. No, totally fine with it. Like, I can get a promotion and, not die. That'd be nice.
I mean, that's what you have to just assume, that you're going to die if you don't join this. So then you might as well be on her good side. She has the power to kill you at any time anyway. So if you do join, then you may live another couple hundred years.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Versus
not for her, but
getting blown to bits, yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily, Rowena escapes using a spell, putting some furniture up. One person left in this restaurant. And Dean is actually calling Crowley, who won't answer.
Oh,
we know
busy.
Metatron is off the grid. Cass is seizuring with visions
Lord have mercy.
of Crowley. And he's saying that what he feels is like a blender of pureed tomatoes.
Oh yeah, he was trying, like someone was trying to make salsa in a blender, puree style.
And that's how his body feels when these seizures are happening. And
It's a terrible feeling.
This whole thing is very interesting to me because we see, he gets the spell that he has to kill Crowley. So that's what it was. And then into this season, it's just getting worse and worse. So is this what spells do? Do they just get deeper
eventually
and
take
deeper
over
into you? But it's like he wasn't even trying to kill Crowley. I know we'll get to that later, but it was like beat up anybody.
Yeah, which is weird to me because I didn't understand what was the point of that.
There was no point in that because that didn't even advance him any further in getting closer to Crowley.
Yeah,
well, that's what's confusing to me. I feel like we should get more about what these spells can do to you.
I have a theory. Just a
Okay,
tiny
what is
theory.
the theory?
I feel like, remember when Crowley, when Cass was having those visions of killing Crowley over and over and over again, especially in these past 2 episodes, I feel like maybe I don't know if he's actually seeing Crowley, but maybe that's what's happening, is that he needs to kill something because he's just seeing Crowley everywhere. That was what I was thinking, that he just saw this girl and was like, "You're Crowley, I have to kill you now."
So because it's been so long, it's getting muddled in his brain, and he's just like, kill.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, you're Crowley.
Yeah, kind of like that was the first thing I thought of.
We also know that Crowley took a different vessel for a little while, so maybe he did think that this was Crowley. I mean, I don't know why he would think this girl.
I don't think he knew that, though, did he?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what that's the only thing that I was justifying for him just randomly killing people was the fact that he thought it was Crowley in a different vessel.
But then he beat up Dean, so...
Something's taking over. It's like the Mark took over Dean, and eventually it was just like this extra violent.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see more of how these spells affect you and what happens over time and, break down spells for us in the future.
Which is,
I agree.
We need to get a backstory on the Coven. We need to get a backstory on the witches. I feel like we're definitely going to get a backstory on the Coven this season, especially since Rowena's already talking about it and wanting people to join forces since she has the Book of the Damned and had the Codex. But I don't know how much we'll get about what spells actually do and how they affect long term.
See, I'm one of those people that likes to read up on everything. If someone could just, supernatural people, if you can make like just a world book of supernatural, I mean, most of the time they're usually taking it from usual superstitions and stories and tales. But if just for like little things like this, I would just love a book and just like read through it. And it's like, well, Rowena did this, and this is what this spell does, and that's how long it lasts, and
This is what it means.
I just need the full book, just all of it. I don't know.
I would like that, and it's kind of like when Chuck was writing all the stuff. I mean, if we could get those books in Chuck's words,
please.
that's how they could do it.
Yeah.
Chuck could be writing them for all of us.
I'd be fine with that.
So we go back to Amara, and the darkness is showing her all the things that God has done, and all this apparently evil in the world that He has created or allowed to technically happen. And unfortunately, they cannot undo what has been done. So now we only have here on out. And she's actually mightier than God.
And I thought it was interesting. She also said, "I am what you are becoming." So I think that's the answer that we were wondering.
Yeah, because that's what we were talking
She's
about.
evolving into this woman.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me.
But why? Why did she have to be a baby to evolve into it?
Maybe because she was locked up for so long, she doesn't know what this world is, so she had to start fresh to learn about the world. Because what's happened, she's been locked up since creation, so she has no idea. And that's why I think it's affecting her so hard, that she's like, what's wrong with this world? Why is everybody suffering?
So what happens when she gets there? She still eats souls. She doesn't grow into an old woman?
I don't know.
It just stops, but she still eats souls?
No idea.
That's a good... Well, we'll have to... I mean, she's developing, obviously, quickly enough, and in every episode, she's getting older,
She's like jumping every 8 to 10 years. I'm like, jeez.
Lyndsey, you mentioned the fact that she said we're mightier than God. I have a feeling that she could potentially be at least as mighty, just because they say God tricked the darkness into being put away. So if they were going head to head battling, could they be the same strength?
I don't know.
I think that's possible, and that's why he had to trick her to get her put away, because she is obviously very strong.
Right.
I mean, we see Dean and Sam go up against these creatures and these things that are mightier than them and defeat them. But there's always something more, and there's always something bigger. And her talking about...
I need Bobby.
We need Bobby so badly. And her talking about, like, the emptiness of things. Like, we just got last week from Billy, you know, you guys are going to get thrown into the empty. So I feel like we're going to find more out about that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt it. I was just saying that I feel like there's so much in play that I don't understand how everything works, because they're like, oh, there's the empty, and now we have the darkness, and then she might be stronger than God, maybe the same amount as God. I'm like, where did this all start?
Well, I really like this, though. I'm the same with you. I'm really confused. Like, I want to know more about all of the beginning of it all. Yeah. But it's interesting because in the beginning, God created light and darkness. So is there a light? Is he the light? Or is there, like, another thing that's going to come about and it's the light? And, you know, okay, so there was...
Cass. I don't know.
Yeah, there was nothing at first. Is that the empty? So then he created light and darkness?
I think he and the angels are the light.
Right, but there's the angels and then there's the demons. There's heaven and hell.
So maybe there's, like,
the darkness is the bottom and he's the top as God.
As light.
And the empty is, like, purgatory.
Yeah,
almost.
kind of.
Maybe worse than purgatory.
Yeah.
You're just nothing.
There's nothing.
Yikes.
I thought it was interesting that they brought this angel and demon together to have a little chat.
I thought that was cool. I wrote that in my notes. I was like, that's super rad that, you know, these guys are like, man, life sucks right now.
Yeah.
Drink?
Something's going on up there. Something's going on downstairs. Now that Hannah's gone, like, they're really upset that Hannah's gone.
Which they're all talking about this, whatever it is that's making the alarm sound is as big as God or Lucifer. And I feel like there could be a potential to join forces somewhere down the road.
I mean, I feel like that was one of my theories or predictions for later, was the fact that I feel like we're going to have to just join our opposites to defeat this one thing that has no side. She's just out for either destruction or just wiping out completely, like anything like that.
Right.
So...
Well, okay, we'll get to that then, because I have something about that thought too. So Sam and Dean are interviewing the witch that was able to escape from the demon in the restaurant with Rowena. They tracked her down, and they're interviewing her. They know she was recruited by Rowena, and they want to find Rowena. You know, and she's obviously got a bag packed with all sorts of stuff. She denies she's a witch. And they do get her to give them information about where she is, so we can find Rowena finally.
She uses her compact mirror.
Yeah. That was I was like,
no crystals, but a compact works.
It's a mirror.
Yeah.
And Crowley is excited because he's brought a couple gifts for Amara. One is a pretty pink dress.
But it has blood on it.
It has blood on it, which, why?
I mean, I'm guessing he killed a little girl to get it.
Oh.
That's just what I'm assuming. I'm not saying that's what happened.
And then he brings her this, like, pop-up picture book, which I loved as a kid. I loved when they had, like, the pop-up things. You could, like, lift the little thing to, like, see something underneath it, or it had, like, felt on it, or, like, it was a smelly thing. I loved those books, but I also was a normal child.
She's not interested in those kind of books.
She's reading Dante's Inferno, the original work written in Italian.
Yeah.
I mean,
because why not?
Yeah.
Crazy. And she's hungry. So he brings her this tray of lovely desserts.
Did anybody else go, you actually think she's going to eat that?
No,
I knew what she was going to do.
I didn't think she was going to eat the nanny, though.
I did.
I was like, no, not the nanny. She was so sweet.
This lady's not safe.
She's been eating souls, but why would she eat any sort of food?
Yeah.
I would have eaten those things. Again.
No, I was drooling watching her bring these cupcakes
but she's
in.
not going to eat it, and we all knew the nanny was going to bite it.
Yeah, I know, and I felt really bad because I was like, oh, I like you.
She was trying to be really nice to her. She was.
Yeah.
She brought her Dante's Inferno.
And
it looked like she liked her for a little bit, but she's like, but I'm hungry, and you're the only one here. I'm not going to kill Uncle Crowley just yet, so...
I still need him right now.
Yeah, so, sorry.
So she kills
Bye-bye.
Uncle Crowley. Then she eats another soul, and she comments on how she feels how much emptiness there is when she feeds on these souls. Now, it is just a soul, so it is technically empty.
But also, she's feeding off of demons of hell souls. They're not like actual, like, I feel like she would get a better, that sounds weird to say, but a better taste and fulfillment from somebody who was living on Earth.
Like she did with Jenna.
Yes. I think that's why she grew so quickly, but that's why I think that she's taking a little longer, because that's why she went through like so many souls we don't really know, is because of the fact that they're all damned. So
She's eating more to get to where she is, which is why she's going to escape so she can actually fulfill her hunger.
and there's just going to be a bunch of dead people around, and it's going to suck.
But I find it interesting that she asks, why did God make people suffer? Is he pure evil? It seems like she doesn't want everything to be evil.
That's why
So
I'm gonna be
maybe
quiet, 'cause I
she's
have a
trying.
thing.
Maybe she's trying to stop God so that the world can just go. I don't know.
That's what I think is interesting about this, too, is, she said to Crowley, why would you want everything evil? There's good and there's evil, and it's just interesting her viewpoint on everything. And I think she really does believe that she has the right viewpoint.
Yep.
God's wrong.
Is there a light side to her?
Nope.
No.
That's going to be... I'm going to wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I like seeing really, really strong female characters.
No, yeah.
And so I'm excited for her. I was excited when we had Abaddon, and I love seeing Jodie Mills when she comes in. I like seeing that strong character, and I do like seeing the evil character, which is why I think we all...
She's going to be so cool.
She's going to be great when we
Yeah.
actually, as we see her continue to evolve.
It's going to be awesome.
So we do see Cass looking up info to find Metatron, and Fortune Nookie comes on.
This is my favorite. The one running gag joke I love about Supernatural since day one is anytime when busty Asians or Fortune Nookie or whatever on either Dean or Sam's computer, and I was like, wow, you guys are total brothers because you guys have the same taste. But it's really funny to me that's like the running joke, and I love how Cass is just like, oh, I don't know anything about this Fortune Nookie. I'm just like, Cass, don't worry about
He's
it.
so just normal.
I know.
So just neutral.
He's so funny.
So we catch up with Rowena, who's in a blonde wig, ready to take a taxi out of town.
Oh, the
She's
fans
got an accent, too, different from, her accent she's putting on her own.
The fans wanted to know if you guys in the chat, they were talking about it earlier, do you guys prefer her as a redhead or a blonde?
She looks great as a blonde, but I just love her as a redhead.
I love my redheads. I don't know what it is. They just look
Redheads
better.
are so unique that she's just so perfect as a redhead.
Yeah.
And it fits her being like a witch because I feel like it sets her apart.
Yeah.
Although Abaddon was auburn-ish,
Was she auburn?
right?
I think so.
Kind of red.
She was kind of redhead
Orange.
too.
I'm fine with it.
So-
and, yeah. I don't know.
I like the dark women having like that fiery red hair. It fits her spirit too.
Yeah, I agree.
It was nice to see her as a blonde.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she had fun with it. I saw a couple pictures on Instagram that it looked like she
Really?
had fun with it.
Oh, that's
She
adorable.
said, what did she say? Blondes have more fun. Didn't
Blondes
she
do
say
have
that?
more fun. I
don't know.
we
I
obviously
disagree.
all disagree.
Yeah.
All
not
three of us
blonde.
being brunette here.
Yeah.
She mentions, obviously, as it's Sam and Dean that are picking her up, that she removed the mark of Cain from Dean. Which,
Starting
yes,
trouble.
we know that. Sam puts the handcuffs on her so that she can't continue to cast any more spells. And they take her back to the bunker and ask her where the Book of the Damned is, because now they have the Codex. And she's like, well, I wouldn't be stupid enough to take the Book of the Damned and the Codex, have both of them with me at the same time, and reminds them that if she dies, no one's going to fix Cass.
Yep.
That's what I love about her character. She's really evolving into this,
Manipulative.
Yeah.
but like a really good evil witch, because she's like, call him. And the way she just delivered that whole thing, I was like, oh, she's right.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
They gave me chills, or she gave me chills when she said call him, because you could see it in her face. She's like, go ahead, because I'm gonna kill him this time for real, and everything. And I just love her as an actress.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good seeing her, hopefully again later on. Hopefully.
Yeah, I feel like she's even developed more into her character, and
Yeah.
it's really great to see. It's more, I feel like she's more honest and fitting into it now than she ever was.
Yeah, I agree.
And we find out that Cass is broken free. He's wandering the streets. Sam and Dean are tracking Cass using his cell phone, which Rowena
Like a
points,
dear old dad would.
Yeah, which Rowena points out that she could track him down quicker, but
Nope.
they're like, we're not letting you out of your handcuffs. And she said, I love this, are we not a team? And both the boys are like, no.
But I think that's what's great about her too, though. All the sarcastic and the great evil way that she delivers the lines, but she's funny too. She's
I
got
agree.
these hilarious lines.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I want more of her later on in the season.
Well, and before we get to them talking more in the car and finding out about the lies, Crowley's talking to the new nanny, which is the waiter from the restaurant that killed the one witch.
The Manny.
And the Manny. And he's disappointed Crowley twice now.
I know. I'm like,
so he's got to take over and do something right with Amara. And he also tells him he has to tell Amara that we have to stop overfeeding her. And
did we think that he was going to survive after
there was no way.
No.
Oh my God.
Was definitely going to die. I mean, can you imagine telling this little girl who's hungry? She's hangry, actually.
Hangry. No. That's a perfect example.
Yes. Thank you. I'm going to use that example every single time. When my boyfriend's like, hey, why are you so hangry? I'll be like, hey, at least I don't eat your soul. Just letting you know.
Hangry. Yeah. So she was definitely, try telling her that you can't eat as many souls. She's like, oh, okay, but I'll just eat yours then.
I think Crowley had him do this because if Crowley knew that he would have said it, she would have done something to him. So he had to see how big her appetite was so he knows how to further continue with this because she's getting more powerful.
Yep.
He's scared that she would have eaten his if he told her that.
So my second prediction is that he's going to either keep sending people her way so he could test how strong she's getting. Without him getting in trouble and being like, yeah, of course, Puppet, I will give you whatever you want. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
You are so
she's
100%
smarter
right.
than that, though. She's gonna
That's
know.
what I'm saying, and I'll get into more of that
and
later.
She's also got, the darkness, older Amara, on her side, giving her information, feeding her information. So I feel like she could tell her anything she wanted about Crowley or whomever it is. So Rowena points out as they're driving that Sam made a deal with her in order to remove the mark of Cain. He had to kill Crowley. And Crowley's not dead. Sam's like, well, I was going to tell you.
Yeah, like in typical Winchester fashion. I was so mad.
Dean has no right to be mad, though, because he's holding secrets.
Yes, that's why he's not upset. That's why he's not upset.
That's why he wasn't making a big deal about it. But we also have to remember, there's still the secret of Sam being infected as a Gromby.
Yeah.
And we don't know if they're going to be after effects of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still that secret that he's holding in. Do you guys think that that's going to come up later? Do you think that there is going to be a lasting effect of a Gromby? Or do you think that that storyline is completely done with?
I feel like
I don't
it would make sense to come back a little bit somehow.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I could see it go both ways, though.
Yeah.
But I want to say Dean can't be mad because he's holding secrets, too. That's one reason why he can be mad. But two, because I would have done the same thing to save my sister. Like the brothers, they have this bond. They always do this. They're going to do whatever it takes. And Sam felt like this was the last option to make a deal with Rowena. And that's what she wanted, so he's got to do it. Although he didn't, but that's what he had to.
Yeah, I mean, he tried.
Do.
Crowley is too beneficial to the brothers in order for them to kill him. I mean, there's way too much that he has actually helped them with. I think then.
And Crowley is one of my favorite characters, so I don't want him dead either, but I'm just saying it makes sense that Sam would have.
Yeah, show Crowley today. We got Crowley to here today.
Yeah. I love it. I think the one thing I love about it is his mug. He's got little marshmallows in his hot cocoa in here. Gosh. And I'm like, I just love the detail that pop figures have, but I had to put it right in front of Katie because that's her favorite.
Favorite.
So
cute.
We're just adding more, guys. But no, I agree. I feel like actually somebody in the chat describes them really well. Is that Brendan said, seems to me that Sam and Dean are kind of like addicts sometimes. They're always making deals, and step one is to admit they have a problem.
Ooh, yes.
I agree.
Dark and deep, and addiction is the darkest thing. Ooh, maybe the darkness leads to some sort of addiction thing, and that's how Amara and Dean
Maybe that's
are
why
bonded.
she's addicted to souls. Oh my gosh.
Brandon, you're onto something.
Oh,
We're
man.
onto something.
Oh, man.
So we do catch up with Cass, who has followed this girl and
thing.
grabs her phone. She's running away. Cass is following her. I love that we see Dean walking down the street saying, hey to some girl.
Oh, I love
and
that.
And she's like, get a life. Now, first off, I get that. As women, I feel like we've all been catcalled or had something said to us at some point in our life. I'm sorry, if Dean Winchester is saying hey to me, I'm going to turn the other way and keep following you and be like, hey, what is up, man? Yes, we can talk all day long, whatever you want. Seriously?
Yeah,
I like that his ego really isn't hurt. She's
No!
like,
No,
your
he's
life,
like,
and he's like, hi,
Hi, okay.
He's so used to it. I love it.
Hey man, chicks dig him.
So handsome and ridiculous. So Dean goes into the building, and Cass has now found this girl and is choking her. Now, here's my question. You get choked by some weird dude in a trench coat. You, police report.
Yes.
Right?
That was the first thing I thought of. Was I'm like, okay, two things. One, if you're being choked by a person, you do everything in your power to, I don't know, get out of it. You know, I mean, as a person who's been doing martial arts since I was 5, I always tell people who are like, oh, you know, I'm going to be living in downtown or whatever. Should I know anything? I'm like, if anyone tries to grab you, you do everything in your power, bite, scratch, kick, whatever, to get out of it. And obviously the second thing you do is find someone of authority or go into a store and be like, I was attacked. Someone needs to call the police, help me out.
Yeah.
Could she have called 911 on her phone?
No, it got knocked out by Cass and she ran. So
right.
I don't know where her phone is.
Well, why did she stand there for like 10 minutes, what it seemed like, in that one spot in this warehouse?
She's freaking out. She's panicking.
Just trying to hide and hope that he wasn't going to find her.
He was going to find her.
Well, no, I agree with you, Kitty. She should have ran around and found a different spot every single time she couldn't see him because, but for plot's sake, she had to stand there.
Panic sets in.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I still think if she does file a police report and gives an accurate description, then all of a sudden Cass is wanted, kind of like Sam and Dean were in, what was that, season 2 or 3?
Yeah.
When their pictures were everywhere and they couldn't necessarily get in trouble because then they were going to go to jail when they had that one police officer coming after them all the time.
That's one of my favorite ones.
That was like then when Lilith was like big, all that craziness going on. So Dean does talk Cass and lets the girl go. So the girl runs off. We do get her running off. And then he starts throwing punches at Dean.
Whoa.
And beating him up.
Yeah.
This is like, it's literally like this spell has taken over him like the Mark of Cain took over Dean. And he's just not in his right mind.
So do you think that it could have lasting effects even though whatever she
That was going to be my question. Yeah, because I mean, the way that she described it, she always said it was like a dog spell. So obviously even though he was not being completely controlled by Rowena, he was a dog that was just kind of out for blood, like a rabid dog. Yeah. So I feel like it might be gone to a point, but I feel like side effects are going to be a problem. Like he probably won't, I mean, I don't think he sleeps, but if that's a thing.
Especially because she felt burned that her deal wasn't really completed last time. So why would she really technically help? Maybe she'll just put a little spell and help him for now, but it's really not gone.
Or I feel like that she will, anytime they meet back up, she can just turn it back on. Just with like a snap of her fingers. And then he's back to how it was. Because I feel like it's not completely gone.
And I think there's potential to learn more about this because I want to learn more about this.
And I can see Cass probably sitting there like, I want to know why I could not control myself completely and how can I make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Do you think it's a temporary spell that will wear off as the time goes by so then it does come back? Maybe. Or do you think she did remove it for now, but she can put it back on him?
I think it's that she removed it for now for him to be normal, but she can probably keep track of him and then just turn it back on whenever she wants.
Because I don't think they would obviously go and seek her out again if it did come back, and I don't think she would want to be seeked out by the Winchester brothers. She's got her own stuff going on, and she doesn't need them heckling her for where the book is.
Yeah. So
well, and Sam was holding a gun to her head to remove his spell from Cass. And as soon as the spell was removed, she pushed them all aside, separated herself between them with this gate that came down, and then, went off.
Yep. And I saw that happening. I was like, she's going to get away.
She's going to get away.
Yeah. But no, I believe that she's just like, when she said in the car that she can locate him, it's easier for her to do it. I feel like she just has tabs on tabs on Cass, and that she can bring that up. She has an ace in her pocket whenever she wants to use.
So we go back to the bunker, and Cass is apologizing to Dean, and he doesn't even really. He's like, you don't owe me that. I had it coming.
Yeah.
And even when Cass says he'll heal him, he doesn't want to do it. He's kind of like working through it on his own, which was kind of sad in a way that he felt like he deserved this. But I mean, as we keep reading on YouTube, there's a lot of controversy between people saying the boys deserve what's coming to them, and they should be fighting all this off, and they're always doing something to make the world worse than it is, and they deserve to be thrown into the empty. And then there's people saying we wouldn't have a show without them doing this stuff. So we can be torn as to, they are not perfect. That's what makes them likable. And at the end of the day, is they are not perfect.
Right.
But they are trying to, I still think for the greater good, they're trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, it's their home. They're not going to let it sit there and just go to, the dogs.
And good versus evil is not so black and white.
Exactly.
So all of these things that they're doing, it's got these consequences, and there's this next step, and after that, so it's not black and white.
Yeah.
And they do have the codex now, so they do have to find, obviously, the Book of the Damned. Mm-hmm. But their mission, I think, at this point is to figure out this darkness and find Crowley, because they know he's going to have something to do with it.
I agree.
And obviously that takes us to Crowley, and he sees that Amara has killed the Manny.
Oh, Manny.
And Amara's about 14.
Yeah, she looks like she's like at least 14, 15 years old. She's a teenager, and I'm like, oh dear.
And she's hangry.
All over again. Yep.
And we see the fear in Crowley's eyes, and then we cut.
I don't think the boys know that he's with her, though. I think that they
have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
They know that she disappeared, and interestingly enough, Crowley disappeared at the same time.
Yeah, and I don't think they've put two and two together because they're taking care of Cass. So.
Well, I feel like that will be their next thought, that, okay, if we can't find Crowley's not answering his phone, the darkness has disappeared, but nothing's really bad happening with the world. There's something stopping it. What's it going to be? So let's talk about some predictions we have for next week.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
We find out that a creature is feeding on hearts, mauling people, and they're calling it a bunch of different things. A werewolf, a ghoul wolf, a ghoulpire,
Oh my word.
a werepire, which Sam does not want to call it that, and it's back to business as usual.
Monster of the week.
I loved this episode. I was really enjoying it and listening to the story because, like I said, I'm very interested in it. But I was thinking during the episode when the commercial breaks, I was like, oh, when are we going to get one of those, thrown in there where they're fixing something in some town? I love those episodes.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Yeah.
It draws the season out, and I want to know what's going on with Rowena, the Darkness, Crowley, Metatron. But we do need to see them fighting some sort of evil force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, speaking of commercial breaks.
What do you think it's going to be?
Let me quick get to this,
Sorry.
since I totally forgot to tell you guys about our amazing sponsor, DraftKings, who brings you guys AfterBuzz TV for free, so you can watch us and all your favorite AfterBuzz TV shows here on YouTube or listen to it on iTunes and SoundCloud. Your season-long fantasy football team may be going strong, but you don't have to wait till week 16 to get paid. You can put your fantasy skills to the test every single week this season at DraftKings.com. It's America's fantasy favorite one-week fantasy football site, and it means that you don't have to make a season-long commitment. You can commit to just 1 week, and you can be a part of a new millionaire every single week this season. You also, if you have an injured player, doesn't matter because you can change your lineup every single week. You can turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. So you pick your players, you pile the points, then you pick up the cash. This is fantasy football like you've never experienced it before. It isn't fantasy football as usual. This is DraftKings. You're going to go to DraftKings.com and use the promo word BUZZ in order to play for free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Make sure you enter the promo code word BUZZ, B-U-Z-Z, all capital letters, for a free entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com to play some fantasy football madness. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Totally meant to tell you all that sooner. Make sure you go there and check it out. It's really fun. Alexis, you said you won $40, right?
Yeah, like a few weeks ago. I was
So
like, hey.
there are people winning money, and if you like fantasy football, it's really fun because you can change it up even if you have an injured player or somebody's out or on a bye. This is the way to do it. All right. So, Katie, I'm sorry. What was your question?
What do you think it's going to be next week? What is this creature?
I love all these made-up words. I was so excited about my Gromby last week, and how cool would it have been if they called it a Gromby? I would have been like, oh my god, this is like, yay. I think it's going to be exactly what Sam does not want to call it. I think it's going to be a werepire.
I think it's going to be a werepire.
I do too, some kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying that the next episode's supposed to be called Baby, so everyone's like a baby monster, like a hybrid baby monster, like maybe like two different monsters had a baby and now it's a giant hybrid. I don't know. But also they're talking about Amara going through, as a teenage girl, going through, you know,
all the things.
Yeah, puberty. And they're like, Crowley's doom. Hashtag Amara meets period. I was like, I don't think Crowley's ready for that, but she's also not a human, so I think she'll be okay.
I was going to say he probably could use Rowena's help, but I don't know how much help Rowena would even be in that situation.
I don't
really think she's good with children.
No, I don't think so.
Rowena's got her own stuff going on to worry about anything like that.
Yeah, but I love that.
So let's talk about some predictions for next week then. Because I'm trying to figure out what Rowena's mission is going to be. I think her mission right now is to kill Crowley. She knows he's alive. She's going to be on that role. And in order to do that, she's going to need to make her mega coven so that she can be stronger.
I agree. That was definitely going to be, that was in the list of predictions.
Yes, you've got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So let's...
well, that was going to be the first one. I know that we have to wrap up in like 5 minutes. So the next one was the fact that I think the darkness is not here for either the light or for heaven or for hell or anything like that. I think she's going to see how terrible the world is, kind of like how God was like, everybody on my earth is terrible. Let's wipe them all out. So I think that she's actually here and she's going to learn more about what's been happening since she's been gone. And she's like, I don't like any of it. I'm going to kill everybody off. I want all the souls, and I'm going to live by myself, and it's going to be fine. And that's it. Like, that's her plan.
I like that, too. I think that it's going to be really interesting seeing what she wants.
Yeah. I think that's just what it is. I think she doesn't have sympathy or empathy. That's how she rolls. And I just feel like I think that Crowley is going to be like, I need your help to Sam and Dean. And then as we are noticing that there's a lot more partnerships happening with like the guys at the bar and stuff. So I feel like people are just going to have a clear motive and there's just going to be a giant battle at the end of the season of angels and demons banding together to get rid of this one giant threat that could wipe out the universe or the world.
And God will show.
And God will show at the end of
I'm laughing because I hate to bring it up again, and I've somehow found a way to reference Twilight every
that's
single...
what happened.
But they did. They all teamed up together to fight the big Dakota Fanning and the
Dakota Fanning. Dakota Fanning.
I can't remember the other guys' names. I can't remember them because it's not that important to talk about Twilight. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. You're right.
No, but
the good and evil, demons and angels, those guys coming together, they're all going to team up with God behind them to fight this darkness.
I think we'll see that, and I think we'll see a lot of Crowley being more scared as time goes on.
That's why, I agree with you.
He's just going to inevitably have to go to the Winchester brothers.
Yes. I just think that it's just going to be the one time where everybody is all on the same page for this one threat.
But if the Winchester brothers are working with Crowley and Cass is working with the brothers, is Cass still going to have the feelings to kill Crowley?
That's what I'm saying, guys. That's my next one, is that Rowena's going to come back. She's going to use her pawn, which is Cass, because Cass and Crowley are going to team up with the boys, and that's how she's going to get him back, is by killing Crowley with using Cass as that dog spell that she used.
We can't kill him.
Yeah, I know, and we don't know I don't know if they will succeed, and that's why a lot of people are saying that Cass might die this season. Might. Not saying that's actually a thing, but that's a prediction.
I think maybe Rowena will. Right now, her mission is yes, get the Grand Coven, and yes, kill Crowley. But I think there's going to be problems on the horizon for her with the darkness. So maybe she'll put that all aside for the rest of the season as we build up having to take on the darkness.
I also think that she needs her Mega Coven so that she has enough pawns to be in the fight, and then she'll just get what she wanted, which is kill Crowley, either with Cass or on her own.
I don't think she'll kill Crowley.
No, I don't think Crowley's going to die. I think, as much as I love Rowena, she might actually die this season, me personally.
I feel like it's more logical to say Rowena will die before Crowley will.
Yeah. I don't think Crowley's going anywhere. I will be very surprised.
Crowley is too much of a favorite. And I love Rowena, and I think Rowena has quickly grown into people's hearts and everything.
Yeah.
But I still think it's easier to kill her off.
Or let's say she will die, but she might not actually die. Like, you know.
If that's happening, no, I'm gonna need more Grand Coven, Mega Coven in this season. I feel like they have a potential to go so many seasons with the witches, though. So that's why I don't think that she would necessarily die, because I think
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that maybe her character will meet a fatal end, but I don't think that means that she's just gonna disappear. Yeah, I don't think so. I think she's going to be either hurt, injured, die, and then she'll come back somewhere, somehow, some way. Yeah. It's just going to be a great fight at the very end. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a battle of everything, all sorts of evil and good. Epic proportions. All right, you guys. Alexis, where can they find you?
You can find me all over social media as ATorres890. I'm here at AfterBuzz all the time. I'm also an engineer here, so you guys will usually find my voice, in the booth somewhere. But again, I have a vlog that's coming up. I have the 100th one in probably a few weeks. So use the hashtag AskATorres890.
Yay!
Yay! And Katie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell. On Instagram at KatieCampbell13 and YouTube.com/KatieCampbellOnline. I have a vlog, and I have some new stuff coming up with my vlog too. And you can find me on Vampire Diaries and Originals After Show tonight.
Look at you two ladies in your vlogs. That's amazing. Yeah. Way to be motivated. I love it. This is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. Or my blog, lyndsey.blogspot.com. Stay tuned. We've got more supernatural stuff coming to you next week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.